I think we're always going to, these players that don't have this super big legacy, put a lot of pressure on them to really win that big event in order to solidify themselves or, get close a bunch of times as an alternative. And this is a tough matchup to start things off. I think Garrote Rogue, fantastic deck, still quite consistent. It actually does have pretty good board control at a certain point. And you can have these big swings where you're drawing a bunch of cards and swinging the tempo in your favor. However, you don't really have great ways to protect yourself from just natural face damage. And it does take time, especially if you have to be concerned about the board. It takes time to piece together the combo and actually get to kill yourself. So this is, I think, where Quest Warrior can shine. It's just sticking some damage early and then, try and get Rakara and weapon swings online before the Garrote Rogue's able to execute their full combo.
Yeah, and it's going to be a real balancing act here for the Rogue. Balancing tempo, easy comment to make for a cast, but balancing the tempo alongside getting the quest done. The quest? Getting the combo done. It feels like a quest sometimes. And Frenetic choosing to just take care of that. Obviously the coin taken out of the equation with his 3-3-3-3 hand. Quite a big deal, that, because it means the coin is going to be pretty rubbish unless he draws something very soon that slides alongside that. Oh no. All the threes.
It's a lot of threes.
McBanterFace reading what that might mean.
I mean, it's okay, right? Like, you can still gain a ton of tempo with these types of cards. It just is going to take a little bit longer to actually get that first quest completion.
It is, yeah. The armor's also relevant. The Rogue kind of tops out at 48 damage, which is not in danger, but that's also the top end.
Oh, no.
When you get past 36, things do start getting a little bit awkward. If the Rogue hasn't managed to get any chip damage in, it's pretty hard to get chip damage in against the Pirates because the Pirates are built to occupy that early board, as we talked about.
Yep, usually having to put your attention on the minions. And McBanterFace, Cold Neophyte does have some value here because the coin is still in the hand for Frenetic, so might be able to block Pirate Coin something. The Hatchet draw, not great, to be quite honest. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just not great. There's no but.
But it fills out the curve. Like, he hasn't got anything else to do this turn anyway with all those 3 drops in hand, so...
Yeah, but he was going to get it anyway. That's
Sure. Sure. All right. But McBanterFace has his own coin next turn, of course. It's called Octobot. It coins all of your cards out for the rest of the game in your hand. That's nice.
It'd be much worse if it was Frenzy at a coin in hand for each card that you have in hand.
It would, yeah, because that would overdraw you quite substantially.
Yeah, there we go. I balanced it.
Yep, balanced card now. You can draw 3 or 4 cards, that's fine. Yeah, then you play your 9 drop on turn 4, TJ. I'm not sure that's going to work. That could be pretty terrifying.
Oh, yeah. No. I haven't balanced it at all.
You've made it really, really broken.
I've exacerbated the issue.
And that's why we're talking about Hearthstone, I guess, rather than trying to balance Hearthstone.
So many options.
Yeah. All right, so the big question here is how does McBanterFace sequence this? He's got some great discounts in hand, but he could opt to be even a little bit greedier if he wants to go for like a Shroud first. Could go Octobot, Penflinger, Shroud.
Is sufficient.
Yeah, that works. Is that a bit slow? He doesn't seem to think so.
I mean, it is.
I guess a Shadow Step the Octobot and then Prize Plunder will be on 4. That's handy.
Yeah, he can actually double Prize Plunder, but that does get rid of ammo for his field contact next turn. So he may just be in the business of taking this damage and then swinging the board the next turn. Though the armor from the Cargo Guard also has to be thought about, but I guess it's really not that much. So,
wow, look at this. He's going to go full field contact action next turn with the Octobot and then Plunderers. He's going to take this damage and then he's going to clear up so much next turn. He's got a big old board if he wants it next turn too.
Oh, this is so much damage.
So much damage, it really is.
All right, let's see what he's got.
It's quiet.
Double field contact. It's not a double field contact game, much as I would love it to be.
Give me that. Not what I want.
Okay, Brain Freeze is a good pickup.
Really nice.
Not what I want.
He doesn't have spell damage, so he could have gone like Brain Freeze first. Oh, okay. He's just gonna keep on going.
Yep. You know that chip damage I said he wouldn't get? Here it is, all of it. It's not even chip damage anymore, it's a lot of damage. Wow. Frenetic's face just reads, stop already, you've done enough.
I'm in turn with the passage. Just he could dump a card. I think he had 8 cards. It'd be at 9 though, because the Penflinger is going to come back in hand. Now he's got to make the decision. I believe he will be at a full hand once this comes back to him.
Okay. But I think the
Maybe
Garrots
9
might...
cards. Grots are in hand. Oh, he's at 9 cards. No, he's good.
Of course it's 9 cards. He's so accurate with this stuff, always. And Frenetic suddenly doesn't have a lot going on. Obviously, though, the quest plus anything in his deck starts clearing things up. Yeah, there you go.
That is good. That is quite good.
Just clear the board.
Yeah, and this is also going to send 4 cannons to face, because he'll also get the additional 2 cannons to face. So McBanterFace is going to be all the way down to 9.
He's only got 6 cards in his deck, though.
Yeah. So maybe he goes for Scabs now and then can potentially kill the following turn.
Unless there's a way to ping this off with Penflingers whilst drawing cards. But yeah, he hasn't got a board win in his future, so he does have to win with combo next turn.
So many options.
Tough.
So he does have he does have still a Shadow Step left, right?
There should be.
But he's fine on damage. Even if an armor up comes next turn, even if he doesn't have a Shadow Step or has to Shadow Step something else, he would still have 38. Because he has a free Blackwater Cutlass, so he'd have 36 plus the 3 Blackwater Cutlass. Or the 2 from the Blackwater Cutlass.
Effectively has 10 mana. It's effectively turn 10 next turn with 4 cards left.
Yeah, so he should
Frenetic needs to kill him.
Good. Oh! Guild Trader? It's got to be Guild Trader. Okay, Guardian Ogg Merchant. I guess Field Contact would have also made things more difficult because he would have trouble drawing through the last few cards of his deck. Yeah, but that should do it. Plenty of board space, plenty of spell damage, plenty of card draw.
10 damage on board, just in case. Yeah, that's only 24 needed. Then I could do 24.
Too quiet.
Couple of spell damages. Just checking the board space, I think. That is a thing that can mess you up sometimes. He's out of fatigue range, as in self fatigue.
Yeah, he's even got a prep, so he's golden.
Yep.
I got it all.
Spare Octobot just in case he wants another 8 coins if you're TJ World.
Yep. He's just making sure that he's got it guaranteed, but this is well over lethal because he's actually got plus 4 spell damage on the board, and plus the 8 attack and the 2 attack from the weapon. So plenty of damage.
Yeah, and nicely paced. Like you mentioned the Scabs, and that was clearly enough. He worked out he couldn't die the next turn, and was willing to take that damage early on to hold back a hand. That was the big deal. Whereas a lesser player like myself might have just started throwing around removal. He just waited one turn, took a bit of damage, knew he probably had it in hand, and a really nice start from McBanterFace to this World Championships. If there was any doubts in any of your minds watching this now, oh, who's this guy? What does he do? And we say, well, he plays solid, good Hearthstone and doesn't mess up. That was McBanterFace, ladies and gentlemen. That was him.
Yeah, that was super solid. And, it's rare that you can draw through the majority of your deck, especially against like a tempo-based matchup like this one, where you usually have to be a little more defensive with your cards. With a single field contact, and not even a Shadow Step field contact, right? You just had the Octobot discount into Shadow Step with the other Octobot discount on the same turn, and drew 10 cards off the first field contact, and then from there was pretty smooth sailing, was just able to set up scabs and then kill on the following turn, which is ideal for Garrote Rogue, right? Frenetic got close, right? Well, it was down to 9 or roughly around that life total, but calculated from McBanterFace the entire way.
And now his Rogue will not have to bump into the opposing Demon Hunter, which is a very big deal indeed. And we'll see that a lot in this tournament. Rogues don't want to fight Demon Hunters. That's going to be an ongoing theme if the Druids keep getting banned like they have here. So now it's Frenetic's turn on the Rogue. But he has a much bigger chance of bumping into the Demon Hunter now. The opposing Rogue's already gone.
Yep. So, this is standard Rogue. We saw Chan Ming earlier had the little bit more I don't even know, board-based version of the deck with animated broomstick and no cutlass. This one doesn't have cutlass, or it only has one cutlass.
One cutlass, one
for yeah, but honestly those feel interchangeable at a certain point. Mon Thief gives you that little bit of extra, potential oomph, whereas having double cutlass can sometimes feel redundant, especially if you draw both of them early. Sometimes the damage is nice later, especially if you get it discounted. You can just equip it and dump a card from your hand if you're worried about hand size, and that 4 damage can also help you get to those breakpoints.
Yeah, sometimes with double cutlass you can do some funny things at the end of the game as well. Get them both in the bottom of your deck and sort of cycle through them to invest mana into the next turn, like reducing your hand as you go. And just sort of keep switching cutlasses about. That can sometimes come into play, but not enough to really warrant the discussion I just gave it. So, but McBanterFace's Handlock, this is, I'm saying Handlock, it's a new, exciting deck. It's the deck we know and love, but it's kind of misplaced in the ladder meta right now. So interesting that he brought this, but it does line up well, or reasonably well at least, against the expected field, which he seems to have called really well.
Yeah, and there was a couple days on ladder where the quest handlock was everywhere, and I think the biggest card, and I've highlighted it here, is the Altar of Fire, right? At any point, Altar of Fire can essentially end the game, right? If you get rid of one of the Garrotes, because of the nerf and less damage overall, Garrote Rogue is already quite capped on damage as it is. If you're able to get rid of one of those, or even the Guild Trader, they don't have the redundancy anymore to be able to kill anymore. I said anymore like 4 times.
Don't say it anymore.
But, yeah, I'm not going to say it anymore. I really don't want to do that anymore.
The any more the merrier, I guess.
Yep.
Anethron opening hand, Bristleback, touch.
Yeah, I think you can get away with keeping Anethron on the.
I love how Giant just keeps surviving. It costs 47 mana now, and you can only play it if your hand is empty, and it still gets played.
I mean, you have so much health swing in the deck that it's still warranted.
It's a lot of mana. But yeah, it still gets played, obviously. The Demon Seed, a lot slower than it was too. But like you say, it doesn't need to do much, right, with the quest with the Giant to just fill out all of these other big monsters you have in your deck. Frenetic has not got an opening hand to speak of. Oh, there's a Battlemaster as well. It's not like the ideal opener, but it's a really nice looking. This can go really good for McBanterFace really quickly. And Ethel a big deal, because if it gets bounced by scabs, it's just going to come back down a lot of the time.
Yeah, but does he have? Does he have? Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'll never know what he does or doesn't have.
I'm trying to work out like what was cut from like the quote unquote standard list, but it looks like it was like Unstable Shadow Blast is a big one. That's no longer there. Soul Rend cut because there's nothing that really relies on the board. So that's what is cut to make room for like Mutinous, for Dreadless Tamsin, and things like that.
Notice he didn't even play the quest on 1 here. Filling up his hand as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Just fun. And here we go, turn 3, Anethalon, because he didn't play the quest.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting line, right? I mean, with the nerfs to the quest is, without, Flesh Giants in the opening hand, there's less incentive to kind of go for, the super fast quest completion. And, Anethalon is essentially a Flesh Giant that can come out faster if you don't play the quest. So I like the fact that he went for this line. Secret Pass is going to be played pretty early. If this hits Swindle, this is going to be pretty good. Yep, does hit Swindle. So now it can draw with the Swindle, and the Brain Freeze was picked up from the Secret Passage, so it can play that as well.
Yeah, it's
and
just
effectively draw another card from his deck.
starting to have the semblance of an actual hand rather than what he had to do on the first couple of turns. Just coming together now. Got a handful of stuff, can reduce it, field contact. You know the drill by now. Getting there. Turn 4, and they both seem to have done so much already. Yeah, more board presence for McBanterFace.
More bones
He's
to knock.
finally going to play the quest. I imagine so, with 1 mana left. Yep.
Might draw a giant at some point, so might as well invest into that. There's the altar.
Yep.
Could alter the course of the championships.
At least this match.
I mean, this match does alter the course of the championships, right?
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, I'm going layers today.
Muzzle their magic.
Sick, Neil. Fine, man.
Oh, wow. Alter next turn, there's going to be Battlemaster following up the Barons if he gets down there.
Yeah. 15 cards, 2 Garrotes in deck.
Not always the worst.
McBanterFace
Right?
doesn't know this, but, Is there a better time to rip it? He could do it when, he can actually play the Scavengers on the same turn. Really doesn't have much to do with his mana this turn, though. Because on the flip side of being able to potentially burn Garrotes, you also have if you don't burn Garrotes, you're just getting the rogue through their deck faster.
Yep.
Which is what they want to do. So
I think you rip it because you've got nothing better to do. That's my assessment of this turn. Next turn, you want to play a 6-drop or get towards your Barons, or just play a collection of nonsense. I think that you just want to play it. But
okay.
That's the instinct play, not the deep dive. Yeah, he's going to
More bones.
go back for more attack on board, which makes a lot of sense because he does have the Battlemaster in hand, which is technically a lethal setup here, although obviously the 8/3 is going to get taken care of.
Efficient is sufficient.
That's an upgrade.
The wise man once said, you can't get lethal next turn if you don't set up lethal for next turn.
Too quiet.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Did you say that? Because you're pretty wise.
I'm pretty wise, yeah. I'm pretty wise, but no, it's not the sort of thing I would say, TJ. I'm nowhere near wise enough for that.
Gotcha.
So let's have a look at how much damage is coming in here, because it might not need a whole combo of Garrotes, right? It's just a lot of damage on board suddenly and a Garrote in hand.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Soul Run was cut from the list for McBanterFace, so not a... I guess it's Dreadless Tamsin who needs Soul Run anymore, am I right?
That's a fair point. It's a fair point. Another altar. He's just calculating if he can tap or not, I think.
Well, if he wants to play Dreadlich Tamsin, then he's going to overdraw anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't get those cards down anyway.
Can he? Because he's got so much removal in hand. I guess he hasn't got as much as I thought. I thought he had 3. He's only got 2 removal cards. Yeah, you've got to play it.
I wonder if...
Does trigger the quest if he taps. It's kind of his last chance to do the self-damage. That's what he's probably thinking about so long. But didn't want to overdraw. Here they come. The Imp Boys.
Oh, they're coming. I was raised dead. I think at this point, with how fast Frenetic's going, McBanterFace's win condition's got to be try and mill something, but we can see that that's not really going to be viable anymore since Frenetic does have essentially everything he needs with Guild Trader plus double Garrote.
Yep, and he won't trade away the Guild Trader, you would hope, to try and get something else to draw with.
Yeah, he's just going to hold on to it in his hand. He has been. He's had plenty of opportunities to trade it away.
And that's it. Deck removed.
Give me that. Look what I want.
Almost out of cards.
And he really hasn't got to do much next turn with 18 health from McBanterFace. Okay, he can heal a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough to cause Frenetic any trouble.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll see the altar played now because it will just get rid of those 2 cards. He knows that if Frenetic's got it, he's got it. Unless the mana doesn't work out, but it should.
I'm out of cards.
Well, Scavs is gone.
And the other field contact's gone.
So
Helps, does it?
actually, it does. There's no draw left
Oh my.
because he would need the Guild Trader for the spell damage.
And we've got the advantage of being able to see the hand. He's got to sort of work it out backwards, but there was a little.
Yeah,
light went on in the head
I don't
there.
think he can win. I don't think he can win.
Frenetic's just got there as well. They both got there the same speed as me, which is worrying signs.
Yeah, McBanterFace is going to do the calculations right now. All he has to do is kill the field contact.
Is there any natural Garrote kills here? Because the Guild Trader.
Garrote does like 0 damage.
Guild Trader Garrote is 8. Yes, just so you know.
All right, yeah. So he has 8. He can dagger up and deal 9.
Uh-huh.
And that's it.
That's your lot.
That's the damage.
That changed quick.
I guess.
I know. Yeah, Frenetic realizes it, and I guess McBanterFace rewarded, but when you're going through those turns as Frenetic, it's hard to kind of find that mixture of like getting through the deck, but also holding on to enough. He would have needed to like hold on to a cutlass at a certain point, like just to be able to trade back in. A weird situation where he's got the damage, but his deck is empty and he can't get the bleeds out of his deck with the damage. So
You know what?
kind of a weird game because everything up until that point seemed to work out quite nicely for him.
Yeah, and he could. I was just working out if he could trade the Guild Trader to protect himself, but then the Guild Trader gets burned, and because McBanterFace has so much healing in the deck, he's never going to be in a position to get it done. So, from nowhere at all, it's 2-0 already, and just the Demon Hunter remaining for McBanterFace.
Yeah, we've seen Demon Hunter struggle though, so it's definitely a possibility that it does, but with a couple combo decks on the side of Frenetic, McBanterFace already has quite the edge. It's got enough healing to withstand Quest Warrior normally. So we'll see if that's the case, or we're going to see what Frenetic's going to queue up.
It's in with pirates. It's in with the pirates. That's what I'd do.
Is it? Is it what you do? Are you competing in the World Championship, Neil?
Yes, I'm competing with you and Sottle and Raven and Jir and Darak for the title of Best Caster. Because that's who gets the money by A-Bar later today.
Okay. He
The five do it for nothing.
I don't think it. A-Bar will travel anywhere in the world, but I doubt he wants to come to Florida, I'll tell you that.
All right. So Frenetic, to get it done, he's got to win the Warrior, which should be okay. He's got to win the Mirror. It's a mirror. And he's got to win with Demon Hunter. That's a problem. That's not a problem. Reading it backwards.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility for him to take any of these matchups, because Demon Hunter is a deck that, while it's somewhat consistent in what it does, it still needs time, right? And you can draw the wrong half of your deck. It's pretty rare, and even if they do, they still have some fail-safes, with just how much card draw the deck has. But it can get steamrolled in certain situations.
Right, so that's a nice hand for McBanterFace. You tend not to keep Spectral Sight on the right-hand side, but it's got a double jump in the middle, so that's absolutely fine, I think. The only danger is there's no early removal, which makes this really difficult for you as a Demon Hunter, but you've got to start somewhere, and start by completing parts of your quest line make a lot of sense to me.
Ooh, another hatchet.
This matchup can go really weird sometimes, where the Demon Hunter, there's opportunities, if things go the right way, to just kind of give up on the quest and try and win with your few shambolic minions.
Is that a word?
Shambolic? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I make up a lot of words, TJ. You're right to question me, but that is absolutely a word.
Well, thank you for clarifying.
Huge turn from McBanterFace, because we're going to see what he gets reduced. And early on you tend to just draw some cards and get the quest going. But in this matchup, you really need things to go well for you. That works. Okay.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, he'll take this one.
Yep. Gets to replay Sigil immediately because it's discounted from the first quest completion. Gets to start off with a free draw on the next turn.
In the box? Pirates.
Mutinous could be something that comes into play, right?
Sure.
Can't forget about Mutinous.
I mean, usually what happens is the Juggernaut, even if you hang on to the early play, the Juggernaut just grinds the Demon Hunter down over... I say grinds, it takes about 3 turns. Glide. Got to decide. Do you want to just go for the tricky, can I get lucky, and take away their Rakara?
Like right now, it's a net even for Frenetic, except for the fact that he's got 1 hatchet buff, which is not like that big of a deal. And for McBanterFace, he's got a bunch of reduced cards in hand, some of which are good, some of which are not, to be reduced. It's a tough decision. He can dump the Tusk Piercer along the way.
Okay. I kind of liked the idea of playing an Arcanist and then just getting rid of what was on the board and starting to I-beam what came next, but he's going to be okay too. Frenetic's drawn curve cards though. As in the bigger cards that you already have.
Everything in the deck is a curve card.
He's drawn his 5-drop, which will fit in nicely on turn 5. Let's go with that.
All right.
That's what I realised that any combination of 2 pirate cards probably adds up to 5, but having the big boy is quite nice. Do it again. Dump a couple of cards, glide again. Oh, it's so much damage. mean, what's he taking next turn? He can see 8. There's a Cannoneer in hand that, there's allowed to be extra damage in hand in this fight as well.
He could see 11 because the War Axe as well. He could go for a more defensive line with, try and tutor out this I-Beam. Or Illidari Studies first. Maybe hit Chaos Leech. If you don't, you can still glide after.
Yeah.
Actually, even if you hit Chaos Leech, because it'll be double discounted. Actually, no, it wouldn't be double discounted. Excuse me.
In the process of dumping his hand ready to glide next turn, but Frenetic will probably do the same thing.
Yeah, so this did everything. Cleared up the board, healed, and completed the quest to get Kurtrus. So,
eventually,
good.
We'll see Frenetic's hand. Okay.
Oh, wow, look at those. That's a curve hand.
Turns out that he can do all these things on turn 5 as well. I'm learning from you, TJ. I'm learning good.
Box? Pirate stuff.
So confident he wants to play the captain that he decided to draw a pirate after playing the captain.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
The Morg applies to the cannon?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
It does, yeah, it did 4.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I knew that, but I had forgotten it.
There's so many things that I knew that I've forgotten, TJ. When you get to my age, you just accept that, you'll never know anything again and you'll forget all the things you already knew. And then you just talk nonsense and get on with it.
Yep.
So there's no way that McBanterFace can do all the things he wants to do this turn. He has got the Moarg Immolation Aura, but that's the second Moarg. That's when things start going downhill.
Yeah. I don't know, this is tough. He got to this point pretty safely. It's just now, what do you even do? Need for greed? Can you even do it?
That means a quite big swing. Takes the captain out. Okay.
Got a job for me?
The trouble is, when do you get to play Kurtrus? Against pirates, this is the big problem. Normally, you close your eyes and jam your Kurtrus onto the board against most decks if it looks a little bit dangerous, but this isn't a little bit dangerous. This is lethal on board. It's slightly different.
Yeah, he's just going to keep finding situations where he's dead if he plays Kurtrus. So, and this is one of those situations. Very dead. He needs a desperation hit right here from the guild.
Yep.
He needs to hit Spectral Sight into something.
Okay.
Is not enough. He has another trade. Illidari Studies. Nope. Crimson Sigil Runner. It has to be. Nope. Didn't hit it. And it's dead on board, even with the Fellscream Blast. Exactly 9. Good attempt, but Frenetic puts himself on the board with the Quest Warrior. So that one's out of the way. Now he's got Garrote Rogue and his own OTK Demon Hunter left versus OTK Demon Hunter for McBanterFace. So the Garrote Rogue versus OTK Demon Hunter, I think, is the big matchup. If Frenetic can take that, nothing that happened early on in the series matters at all because it just comes down to a mirror match. So. We'll see if he can equalize the series, or if he just decides to, play the Demon Hunter now, get the mirror match out of the way. He knows that it's got to come to that at a certain point anyway.
He really lives up to his name, doesn't he, Frenetic? He plays incredibly quickly.
Yeah. Sometimes. Not all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing crazy quickly. He's not sort of just having a moment. It's just how he plays. He plays really quickly, I think. The other matches were still 1-0 at this point, and it's 2-1 already. It's flying by, and he does cue his Demon Hunter.
All right, gonna get the mirror matchup out of the way. Almost identical decks. The one difference is, I believe, a Need for Greed instead of a Viper. in McBanterFace's list.
You think of that?
Which, I mean, it's 6 in one, half dozen in another. It's like, sure, there are some high-value weapons that need to be destroyed in the metagame, mostly in the form of Libra Paladin. That's the only like must-kill weapon with the Cariel. Is it
Immovable object? Yeah, it's got to be.
Or I wanted to say Unstoppable Force, but that's a different weapon.
I mean, you can't even move the
time.
quest line on it because it just stays at 0 out of 100 the whole time.
Yeah.
It's
So
quest line.
yeah. But that's really the only one that makes like, a massive difference. And Need for Greed is a huge amount of draw. So that can sometimes be the difference maker. So they're difference makers in, different senses. So, but we're going to get into it. McBanterFace still one game away from making it into that winners match, solidifying Americas as the greatest region of all time in Hearthstone.
Absolutely.
2 players through to the winners match, only rivaled by Asia Pacific also having 2 players through to the winners match, but Americas would have done it more recently, so that takes the cake.
I think we should also warn the viewers at this point that the last 2 or 3 times that TJ and I have cast a Demon Hunter Mirror, it has taken forever.
they both run out of cards.
They just
and
both
run out of damage. Yeah.
Just both players end up getting glide into glide into glide into glide or whatever, and then they just draw 3 Moags and, I don't know, a fish or something, and just couldn't play any cards and nothing happened.
Yeah. So McBanterFace does have the better opening in the current situation. Looks like he's going to be able to get quest completion a little bit quicker, right, on average, because he has Tusk Piercer and Sigil next turn, so it gets easy quest completion. Then can reduce potentially like Spectral Sights that are picked up from the double jump. Glide, though. I mean...
Here we go. It's going to happen, TJ.
It's so funny because you always say, oh, yeah, so-and-so players got the lead, but then they complete quest, get Kurtrus in hand first, then their opponent glides them, and then we get into that never-ending war of, all right, well, Kurtrus completed, but it's in the deck somewhere. So
And then they just both just top deck forever.
yeah.
And the other one actually gets in front, and it's all about, hey, this is fun. It's fun if you're watching. It's no fun to play when you're in those top decks wars, though. You've really got to hope. Anyway, so Frenetic is the one at the moment with the sturdier card draw. McBanterFace has got enough card draw. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Ooh, all of these are awkward.
What's the rest of his turn?
He could just attack with Tusk Piercer and then trade the Peddler, and then that's quest.
Yeah, he's taken the most easily dumpable card too, I think. It actually also could potentially be part of the win con later if he gets shuffled into his deck where the others maybe not so much.
Time grows short.
That makes sense.
Pleasure doing business.
Okay. Not the best reduced cards, but that's fine. It is erased, so it doesn't really... This is what I was talking about in the last game, where against the Pirates, your reduced cards matter in this. They still matter, of course they do, but not quite so much, because all you're trying to do really is get to Kurtrus first and hope you don't get glided.
Yep.
A weird mix of relief and sadness to be glided then, because at least your Kurtrus is relatively safe. You have to go with the maths now, because with an S, TJ?
No, I got you.
Is
Hello?
McBanterFace developing a bit of a bantery face slowly? He seems to be smiling and, playing along.
the World Championship. It's fun. We're all having fun.
No pressure. Just cards. $200,000 and the title of Hearthstone World Champion forever to go along such greats as Artosis.
Time grows short.
I don't even know here. Skull is like the the only one that makes any sort of sense.
I mean, he'll get to cast it in some worlds. If it gets shuffled into his deck, then it might actually turn out to be really important. It'll speed up a combo in some worlds. Because nothing costs any mana at that point anyway, so your Skull costing whatever it will cost for, most likely in that scenario, would be fine. You also don't have to outcast. You can just draw 3 cards and finish the quest.
Yeah.
I see.
I tend to forget it's even playable from the middle of your hand, but it very much is in this situation.
All right.
Okay.
Praying for no glide.
You know what that means? Oh, no glide.
I can still pick it up.
See.
Yeah. No.
Just for a second, he thought he was going to be able to do the thing.
Oh, what would have had to be like Tusk Piercer, right, in that situation in order for him to actually be able to play it?
Or just the other way around.
Or just the other way around. Yeah, sure.
I demand a reshuffle.
I mean, you probably just glide here, right? Like, you do it anyway.
Most likely now, yeah.
He can just acrobatics, I suppose.
Time grows short.
And then glide post Kurtrus to shuffle the Il'gynoth back in. I guess that makes more sense.
Decimar, what could go wrong? Everything. Just all.
That's not everything. He could have just killed him. That would have been pretty bad.
Probably a world where that's possible there, yeah.
Yeah, 3 discounted cards in hand. If it was Il'gynoth at 5 mana, Talented Arcanist, I guess it wouldn't have quite been enough, but
he is in a lot of trouble now. Oh my.
yeah, this is brutal.
Right, 2 turns behind is not good, and this deck just seems to get faster and faster as well. Frenetic has plenty of card draw.
I bet you can do this.
He knows that next turn he would be incredibly unfortunate to lose, so
Yep, here we go. He's going to glide it back. He's just dumping everything.
and McBanterFace has already nodded and sort of smirked. He knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Frenetic though?
That glide had +2 spell damage as well, so it hits even harder.
I wish it did have some sort of extra effect when you +2 spell damage your coin. Mainly because I do it so often. I think McBanterFace has had Glide appear in the right-hand side of his hand like 4 times this game, and none of them have been at a time when he can use it. Like, effectively use it.
Yeah.
Pleasure doing business.
Frenetic, though, has no card draw, we need to point out. He does have, obviously, kind of good lethal-looking things going on, but when this is removed, he is down to this weird top-deckiness that we've talked about already. McBanterFace, of course, is lacking a vital piece of the puzzle, but we have seen this happen before, and it can go wrong if McBanterFace rips the Kurtrus next turn.
Yeah.
Pleasure doing business.
Frenetic has also dumped some of his redundancy with spell damage, right?
Yeah. And now he's got the acrobatics. So he can draw a million cards.
I mean, it's lethal.
Actually lethal.
Yep. There's a lot of worlds where he gets lethal there. He's, I guess he didn't really have mana left over, so I guess there wasn't a lot of worlds where he had lethal, but there was enough to where it was worth going for it. And there you go, tied series with Frenetic taking the Demon Hunter mirror. So now it's down to Garrote Rogue for Frenetic, and once again OTK Demon Hunter, which we've seen some struggles today from OTK Demon Hunter. So it's going to be interesting to see how this last matchup's going to play out. If these glides keep coming into hand in weird positions for McBanterFace, and he can't disrupt that combo and the draw sequence from Frenetic, could be in for some rough times. But we shall see. It's going to come down to this one. Obviously, this is still an initial match. No players under fear of elimination from the tournament just yet. But starting off with a win in the World Championship, having that little bit of buffer going into the matches later on today is definitely a huge advantage. So we'll see, Neil.
We'll see. One game.
Grandma.
Take it one game at a time, TJ. That's all you can do. Told you we're talking about the cliches, but I got it in the right order this time. Demon Hunter, obviously, the reason you bring this deck is to take on rogues. That's the primary reason. Apart from the fact it's a really solid, good deck, but it does have some fairly bad matchups along the way as well at times. So this is why it's here. And so it just needs to do its job for McBanterFace. And we kind of expected this after the 2-0, that it was going to come down to a mirror followed by the awkward one. And Frenetic has got a hand.
Oh, yeah. Cards have been drawn.
I mean, if they have field contact or Octobot, that's all you want in life.
Yeah. And it's got a field contact. McBanterFace, I mean, it's okay. He's got a Tusk Piercer early on. Fell Screen Blast, I'm sure he'd hope that was not present in the hand. But overall, not the worst thing in the world. He doesn't have an Il'gynoth far left. Let's just put it that way.
I like this. I don't love it, but his hand is pretty grim. He's going to have to find ways to do damage early.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool, to be honest. Usually you just end up killing off your own stuff with the prize plunder, and hand space can sometimes be an issue. So
Yeah, especially the way Secret Passage works, you can just have terrible accidents with Secret Passage now. So definitely nice to make that space with the reasonably redundant cards. Talking of reasonably redundant cards, McBanterFace is going to have a 14 mana combo in his hand at this rate. Yeah, he's got the whole combo, but unfortunately it's turn 3.
yeah. Gonna need a glide ASAP in order to make this hand worth anything.
You can see he
And get
doesn't want
quest
to do this
completion
attack.
here, though.
He can, but see, he doesn't want to, but then he's got to. It's horrible.
Pleasure
Yeah.
doing business.
Okay.
Okay, Spectral Sight. He's just gonna do it.
Yeah, it's only turn 3. He wants the mana, I think. So his hand is so awful. He's looking for more card draw than just a Spectral. Maybe he draws something that allows him to now spend mana next turn to draw more cards and try and get into the game. Because currently, like you said, it can go wrong, and currently it is going very wrong from McBanterFace.
Yep.
Frenetic just needs to find that Octobot, and he is away and running.
There's honestly not really many ways that McBanterFace can get quest completion this turn. Double jump, even if it picks up glide, don't feel like using that. I think it's probably just sigil and hero power, as awkward as that sounds. Sets him up to be able to go double jump into glide the next turn, or just draw it naturally off the top. because the situation that he doesn't want to find himself in is if he double jumps right now and hits glide, then he's got kind of this weird sigil in his hand that he doesn't want to use because he doesn't want to put glide further over into the hand. And if he hits like Spectral Sight, for instance, then like he's not completing quests guaranteed by going for Spectral Sight because there'd only be 4 cards. He'd have to find something else like a tradable along the way to complete quests. So, yeah, I guess Delta Talented Arcanist? Yeah, sure.
In the world where you hit the glide, you don't want everything going back into your deck, and he's playing to hit the glide, right? So, just play something for the sake of getting on the board. It's a tiny bit of board control because there's so many things with 1 health or 2 health in the opposing deck, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
Quiet. Too quiet.
The Octobot was picked up for Frenetic, though. This is a massive deal now.
Yeah, he can get a good amount of draw here, and then follow this up to reduce the rest of the hand with the Octobot. And he's keeping his hand size down, right? He's been keeping the glide in mind ever since turn 1 of dumping the prize plunder.
Yes. And it is quite possibly just going to come down to can McBanterFace find a glide right now. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, but looking at how set Frenetic is, it's a glide off the top, TJ. Woo! He knows there's a field contact. So I mean, he would do it anyway, but wow.
That makes up for last game.
Oh my.
Yep. And honestly, the hand here is not bad as well. It gets a double jump, which could find another glide. Has a Tusk Piercer to be able to load up to start like that initial draw sequence for the quest. That was as timely can get for McBanterFace.
Frenetic still got a field contact back, but he's allowed to get something back. See what his 1 Wand Thief can do. Good luck with those cards.
Ring Toss gets Rogue Secrets if you're a rogue. Something that I always have to remind myself, and might as well take that opportunity to also remind the audience that that's how it works.
And not at all reminding me, of course, because I would obviously never make that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, you know everything, Neil. I don't need to remind you. Ooh, that's not good.
No, really it's not.
2 more draws with this plus this, and it hits draw. All right, Spectral Sight.
That's good.
Cool.
And hold.
Yeah, I mean, Frenetic's definitely not out of this. 17 cards left, no Octobot in hand, but the Shroud coming off the glide was kind of the saving grace of that play, just because he was able to, have a little bit of reload.
He's got both field contacts still, right? Because he bounced the one that he played, even though he got shuffled back in, so he can...
Yep, there's one still left in the deck.
Tick away.
As far as like resources go, he's fine. It's just kind of attempting to piece those together, right?
It's just a race. We knew that from the start, but it really is just a race now. That Cult Neophyte could come in handy, but they don't really do it like they used to, do they, the Cult Neophytes?
Yeah. Oh, this is actually a pretty big deal, to be honest, because this Neophyte blocks the ability for McBanterFace to go Kurtrus plus like Moarg, Fellscream, or in this instance it would be like Fellscream Hero Power. Just doesn't have the mana to be able to clean this field contact up.
I grow impatient.
To be honest, I think he has to respect that field contact.
They miss a turn, like just clear the board up and don't play Kurtrus.
Oh, okay.
We should know by now. The answer is always close your eyes and play Kurtrus. No matter how much we read into it, no matter how much we want to respect the cards, the answer always seems to be close your eyes and play Kurtrus.
Yeah, he still has a glide in the deck, right? So that's, I guess, the bailout.
Reduced. He's already got a reduced Moarg. He's already got a reduced Arcanist.
All right, so just go for the kill?
Just try and get it. He's got double Fellscreen Blast. How much mana would that be if he hits the
You're paying.
Ilganoth immediately off the acrobatics, or if he took Nexus? That's got to be lethal if he gets it.
If there's enough minions to attack on the other side of the board, it'd be one Moarg, one Talented Arcanist, and then Fellscreen Blast, Fellscreen Blast. But the second Fellscreen Blast would not benefit from the Talented Arcanist.
Sure. We'd only do 6.
Well, the second one would only deal 6. The first one would deal 18, so it'd be 24. Yeah, it wouldn't be enough.
And not enough mana to get the Eye Beam in, though, I don't think.
Yeah.
And he's also under all the neophytes now.
Paying for my discretion.
I mean, he could still clear up this board a lot and heal a lot as well, even with the neophytes.
Yeah, that's what he's going to have to do, I think. Oh,
Or how about it? Immolation Aura? That works also. But I think he probably wants to heal.
14. Yeah, he can make this difficult. Look how much spell damage is on the board.
Yeah, so he's down both steps, plus both Ethereal Aug Merchants. So we're looking at +2 spell damage.
The 24 maximum.
24 plus a Blackwater Cutlass swing, so 26. So can he get above 26? He can Moarg, Talented Arcanist, and Fellscreen Blast. That would actually bring him up to full. And then he could Immolation Aura the rest away. So you would Moarg, Talented Arcanist, Fellscreen Blast the Octobot. Actually, it doesn't matter because you're going to have.
Well, you've got to not, as long as you don't hit the Divine Shield, right? Just get on the right hand side of that board somewhere.
It does, yeah, just it targets. Oh,
Gotta go.
yeah. He already knew the play, so I mean, it just target anything that's not Divine Shield or something on the right, and then Immolation Aura, and fit in the Hero Power for good measure. And now, yeah, the 4/2s. The 4/2s from Scavs. But he has another Immolation Aura in the deck.
He's down to only 13 cards himself. The acrobatics cost 1. Everything's reduced with Kurtrus. Gonna be a photo finish.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Oh, but now... No, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm crazy. Ignore me. I wasn't gonna get that wrong. I promise.
Glide. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
They're both going through the ringer here.
I'm not crazy right there is an Immo left somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So if you trade the Persistent Peddler, you pay 1 mana.
Doing business.
Okay, he's going to trade it. Illidar
Studies.
I mean, he's running out of time. If he does feel like he needs to Immo, I guess he should feel relatively safe because of the glide. Kurtrus is not bad, right?
Sure.
My eyes for vengeance.
Yeah, I think he's just working out when he wants to use this glide, right?
Yeah.
What's the optimal number of cards for Frenetic to draw before you play your next glide? Probably 1. You probably do it again next turn. Wow. So the magic number we came up with was 24 from hand for the combo, if things align.
Yeah. And I think he still has the Blackwater Cutlass left.
26 and 4 on the board, 30, but that's a lot of mana.
Yeah, he can't do it this turn. Because in order to draw enough cards, he has to, Secret Passage, in which case he loses access to both Groats and the Guild Trader. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a good way out here.
I'm not either, because the double eye beams will allow McBanterFace to remove the minions on the board if he wants to do that, and then there's a glide again, so we can just go back to where we were. Plus, obviously, 4 of the 9 cards will be drawn. And McBanterFace doesn't actually have to win this game now, he has to just not lose it.
Yeah. If he just stays at full life, there's just no way for Frenetic to be able to get there. Last card is the Blackwater Cutlass. So, yeah, that's 26 damage.
Pretty terrifying, because one miscalculation, it's easy for us because we've got 2 of us working it out between us and full information of hands and things, but a misstep here could still cost him the game, but I think he's got it in hand.
Yeah, so he needs to hero power the 4/1. Moarg, I-Beam, Field Contact, I-Beam 4/1.
Yeah. And then there's no card draw, no significant damage to get out of... He'll be out of range of the magical 20x if you count the Cutlass.
Yeah, and he's actually just going to put stuff on the board because Frenetic can't kill it. So... And, yeah. So this... should be enough. Even just on board, because that'd be 28 damage, and then you just have to find 1 bit of healing after that, or a way to deal with something.
He's got it.
Yeah. This would be his last healing, but again, like, that's all he needs to do. Actually, there's no way he can die this turn, right?
Correct.
26 damage is the amount here for Frenetic with 2
Plus
on board. That's 28, so he'd be at 2 and then just heals up afterwards.
Yeah, and there's other factors like Frenetic can't even get...
McBanterFace is like, wait, what? Did I miscalculate? He's going to be fully clenched right now, thinking, it's got to be 28. And then I guess Frenetic's thinking is, all right, he needs to not have healing or a way to get the healing, and I can swing again with the Cutlass.
And we have also seen people concede in these positions before.
It's a World Championship, and he's done the calculation. He's not conceding.
I agree.
Frenetic, from his mind, he has a chance. If there's no more healing, right, he just attacks again next turn with the Cutlass.
Yep.
My pantry is bare.
It's got to be no healing.
Which we can see, obviously, is not the case.
Yeah, so just a Fellscream Blast right now. Frenetic will be completely out of stuff. McBanterFace, or, just draw...
Play that.
He can, right?
Yeah.
Is it because he attacks face 6, 7, 8, 11? It's plus 4 spell damage, doubled 15.
Sure.
And then yeah, all right.
I never play that there, just in case my brain's gone wrong. I just heal, get out of there. But McBanterFace has a working, functioning brain. He wins 3-2 in a crazy final game. Oh my goodness! And America's keeping their 100% record.
Yeah, it's upside down world here at the World Championship. It completes the initial group stage matches, and we have Europe going 0-2, China going 0-2, and then Asia Pacific going 2-0, and America's going 2-0. It's a complete reversal of traditional performances of the regions, right? But it's a World Championship, right? We're talking about bigger sample sizes, and every region sends the same amount of players to the World Championship. We only have 1 or 2 match sample size,
right,
if we want to separate them into regions. So anything can happen on a given day. This is down to like individual players now. It's not about regions, even though players do compete for regional pride. So yeah, Glory, McBanterFace, 2 players from Group B will face in the winners match, which I believe we move into next. So we're going to have the winners match from Group A first, which is going to be Possessi versus Nalgidon. And then after that, we'll move into Glory versus McBanterFace, and we'll end the day with those loser matches where we will eliminate 2 players from the World Championship before we move on to day number 2.
And one of those players to be eliminated could end up being Gabby, which would, like, Sottle called it's a bracket buster, right? Nobody's going to have Gabby eliminated on day 1 in their whatever fantasy things they're involved in. So could be an exciting one there. But McBanterFace, the story of this particular match